The mind feels singular. One voice, one stream of thought, one self moving through the world. Yet beneath awareness, vast systems operate in silence. They remember what consciousness forgets, notice what attention misses, and guide behavior before deliberate choice arrives. Welcome to Sleep Knowledge. If you find comfort in exploring the hidden architecture of thought, settle in and let this quiet territory unfold slowly. And if you feel moved to, share where you are drifting off tonight. It is always warming to know how far these gentle explorations travel. At any given moment, only a small fraction of mental activity reaches awareness. The conscious mind handles perhaps 5% of what the brain is doing, leaving the remaining 95% to unfold in hidden regions that never announce themselves. This disproportion is not a flaw in design. It is efficiency refined across millions of years. The conscious mind is slow, deliberate, and easily overwhelmed. It can attend to a handful of things at once before collapsing into confusion. The subconscious operates differently. It works in parallel, managing breathing, balance, memory consolidation, threat detection, and countless other processes simultaneously, without requiring attention or effort. Nothing mystical is required to explain this division. The brain simply allocates resources where they are needed most. Survival demands that certain functions continue automatically. Heartbeat cannot wait for permission. Balance cannot pause for reflection. The body must respond to danger faster than thought can form. And so, the mind is layered. One layer speaks, another listens. One decides consciously, another has already begun preparing the response. The collaboration is so seamless that it rarely draws notice. Only when the systems misalign, when a word slips out unbidden or a gesture contradicts intention, does the division become briefly visible. Research institutions across the world have spent decades mapping this hidden territory, using brain imaging, reaction time studies, and careful observation to trace the boundary between what awareness knows and what deeper systems handle quietly. What has emerged is not a simple picture of control and automation, but something more subtle. A partnership where neither layer operates independently, yet neither fully knows what the other is doing. Settle in. Let the subconscious reveal itself gently. The feeling of making a choice arrives after the process has already begun. Experiments conducted in neuroscience laboratories have revealed something quietly unsettling about decision-making. When participants are asked to choose between options, press one button or another, brain activity shows preparation several seconds before conscious awareness of the choice appears. Specific patterns emerge in motor planning regions, building toward action while the person still believes they are deliberating. Only after these preparations are well underway does the feeling of decision crystallize. The conscious mind experiences itself as the author of choice, yet the subconscious has already set the stage. This does not necessarily eliminate free will, but it complicates the story told about it. The conscious mind may be less a commander issuing orders and more a narrator constructing explanations for processes already in motion. Awareness follows rather than leads, interpreting outcomes as if they were intentional from the start. The gap is brief, only a few seconds, but its implications are profound. It suggests that much of what feels like deliberate thought is actually post hoc justification. The subconscious gathers cues from memory, emotion, and context, synthesizes them into a decision, and delivers the result upward to consciousness, which then claims ownership. There is quiet humor in this. People defend their choices with conviction, unaware that the reasons they offer may have been constructed after the fact. The conscious mind is sincere in its explanations, but sincerity does not guarantee accuracy. It is simply doing its job, weaving coherence from the fragments it receives. This does not make decisions arbitrary. The subconscious is not rolling dice. It follows patterns shaped by experience, values, and learned associations. The process is structured, just not transparent. What changes is the location of agency. It shifts from the bright center of awareness to the quiet background where most mental work occurs. Understanding this can be strangely reassuring. Decisions do not need to feel fully comprehended to be sound. The subconscious has access to far more information than consciousness can hold at once. It synthesizes details too numerous to name, producing conclusions that often prove reliable, even when the reasoning remains obscure. The conscious mind, in this view, is not diminished, but reframed. It becomes the part of the system that reflects, communicates, and refines. It cannot control everything, but it can observe, question, and occasionally guide. The partnership continues, just with revised roles. One system prepares, the other explains. Together, they navigate a world that demands both speed and meaning. Scientific bodies continue to probe this boundary, refining measurements and testing whether the lag can be altered or predicted. So far, the pattern holds. Consciousness follows, the subconscious leads, and between them lies a brief interval where the story of self is quietly written. Even in sleep, the hidden mind continues its work. While the conscious mind withdraws into rest, the subconscious remains active, monitoring the environment, organizing memory, and maintaining the body's countless rhythms. This is not downtime, it is a shift in priorities. During sleep, the subconscious becomes the sole operator. It tracks sounds for changes that might signal danger, ready to wake the sleeper instantly if needed. It regulates temperature, adjusts breathing rate, and coordinates repair processes throughout the body. None of this requires deliberate oversight. It unfolds according to patterns established long ago. Memory consolidation occurs primarily during sleep, a process in which the subconscious reviews the day's experiences, deciding which details to strengthen and which to let fade. Skills practiced while awake are rehearsed again in neural circuits, refining them without conscious participation. Emotional events are processed, their intensity gradually reduced, so they can be integrated into long-term storage without overwhelming the system. Dreams arise from this activity, weaving fragments of memory, emotion, and sensory input into narratives that often feel surreal. The subconscious is less constrained during sleep, free to explore associations without the inhibitions imposed by waking logic. What emerges is not random but symbolic, a language of images and feelings that consciousness can rarely fully interpret. All of this happens while awareness is absent. The person sleeps, believing themselves inactive, yet the subconscious labors on. Morning arrives with skills slightly sharper, emotions slightly settled, and memories slightly reorganized. The work was done invisibly, without announcement or effort. This continuity is essential. If the subconscious truly shut down during sleep, life could not be sustained. The body would lose regulation, memories would fragment. Survival depends on systems that never rest, operating tirelessly in the background while consciousness dips in and out of availability. There is quiet elegance in this arrangement. Rest is real, but it is rest for one part of the system. The other part, the vast subconscious network, continues its watch. It ensures that waking returns smoothly, that the body remains balanced, and that the mind is prepared to resume where it left off. Sleep is not absence, it is delegation. The conscious mind steps aside, trusting the subconscious to handle what must be handled, and every morning, that trust is rewarded with restoration, clarity, and the seamless continuation of life. Habits are stored in the subconscious as automated routines. Repetition carves pathways into neural circuits, allowing actions to be performed without deliberate thought. Tying shoes, brushing teeth, driving a familiar route. All of these were once effortful. Now they proceed smoothly, requiring almost no attention. This transfer saves enormous amounts of mental energy. The conscious mind is freed to focus on novelty, while the subconscious manages what has already been learned. But the same efficiency that makes habits useful also makes them difficult to change. The subconscious does not evaluate whether a habit is beneficial. It simply follows the groove created by repetition. Breaking an old habit requires creating a new pattern strong enough to override the existing one. This is why change feels effortful at first. The conscious mind must intervene repeatedly, redirecting behavior until the new action becomes automatic. Over time, with enough repetition, the subconscious adopts the new routine, and the effort fades. The same process applies to thoughts and emotional responses. Patterns of thinking become habitual, just like physical actions. A tendency toward worry, for example, can be reinforced by repetition until it becomes the subconscious default. Changing such patterns requires the same deliberate redirection, replacing old loops with new ones through consistent practice. This reveals something important about agency. Conscious control is not absolute, but it is not absent either. While the subconscious governs much of behavior, consciousness can shape which patterns get reinforced. By choosing what to practice, what to repeat, and what to redirect, conscious intention gradually influences subconscious operation. There is patience required here. The subconscious learns slowly, through repetition rather than insight. A single decision to change means little. Sustained practice means everything. Over weeks and months, new grooves form, old pathways weaken. What once felt automatic begins to shift. This is why rituals matter. Morning routines, evening wind-downs, and structured practices all speak directly to the subconscious, teaching it what to expect and what to prepare. The conscious mind sets the intention. The subconscious learns the pattern. Together they build a life shaped not by fleeting decisions but by accumulated repetition. Understanding this makes change feel less mysterious. Habits are not character flaws or moral failings. They are neural patterns, no different than the ones that make walking or speaking effortless. With deliberate practice and time, they can be reshaped. The subconscious is patient, consistent, and willing to learn. It simply needs to be taught in its own language, the language of repetition. At every moment, the subconscious processes millions of signals, while conscious awareness handles only a few dozen. The disparity is staggering. Vision alone delivers enormous amounts of data, tracking movement, color, depth, and detail across the entire field of view. Hearing monitors countless frequencies. Touch registers pressure, temperature, and texture over the entire body. Balance integrates signals from the inner ear, muscles, and joints. Consciousness cannot hold all of this at once. It would collapse under the weight. Instead, the subconscious filters continuously, deciding what deserves attention and what can be handled automatically. Most of the incoming stream is processed without ever reaching awareness. Adjustments to posture happen invisibly. Background sounds are tracked but ignored. Peripheral vision scans for movement, while the center focuses on detail. Only when something significant appears does the subconscious escalate it to conscious attention. A sudden noise, a flicker of motion, a change in pattern. These break through the filter. The rest remains below, managed quietly by systems that never announce their work. This filtering is not passive. It is shaped by context, expectation, and experience. In a crowded room, the subconscious can isolate a single familiar voice from overlapping conversations, pushing it forward while suppressing everything else. This is known as the cocktail party effect, and it demonstrates how actively the subconscious curates perception. What reaches consciousness is not raw reality, but a highly edited summary. The subconscious has already decided what matters, what can be ignored, and what requires response. Awareness operates on this curated stream, never realizing how much has been discarded before it arrives. There is subtle comfort in this arrangement. If consciousness had to process everything, decision-making would grind to a halt. The flood of information would be paralyzing. By handling the vast majority automatically, the subconscious allows the conscious mind to remain focused, effective, and unburdened by detail. This also explains why attention is so limited. Consciousness is not weak. It is specialized. Its role is not to manage everything, but to handle what the subconscious flags as significant. The partnership works precisely because the division of labor is so uneven. The subconscious handles volume. Consciousness handles meaning. Scientific research continues to probe this filtering process, examining how decisions are made about what to escalate and what to suppress. Brain imaging reveals networks that constantly monitor sensory input, comparing it against stored patterns and expectations. When a mismatch appears, attention is drawn. When patterns hold, the subconscious continues managing without interruption. Recognizing this division helps explain moments when something feels off without clear reason. The subconscious has noticed a discrepancy, a detail out of place, a pattern slightly wrong, but has not yet delivered enough information for conscious understanding. The feeling arrives first. Explanation follows later, if at all. In this sense, intuition is often the voice of the subconscious reporting something it has already analyzed. The conscious mind receives a summary, a hunch, a vague sense of certainty or unease, without access to the underlying reasoning. Trusting that signal means trusting the vast processing happening beneath awareness. The mind is not singular. It is layered, and the deepest layer, the one managing millions of signals every second, is the one that keeps everything running smoothly enough for consciousness to focus on what truly matters. Early experiences shape the subconscious in ways that persist across decades. The first years of life are a period of extraordinary neural development. Connections form at astonishing speed as the brain learns to navigate the world. During this time, patterns of safety, trust, fear, and connection are encoded deeply, often without any conscious memory of the events themselves. Most adults cannot recall infancy or early toddlerhood in detail, yet the subconscious retains traces of those experiences, not as narratives, but as implicit expectations. A child who was consistently soothed during distress may carry an enduring sense of the world as responsive. A child who experienced neglect or instability may develop a baseline expectation of threat or unpredictability. These early imprints do not dictate behavior absolutely, but they influence it. They shape how the subconscious interprets new situations, guiding reactions before conscious thought arrives. A person may find themselves feeling anxious in circumstances that seem objectively safe, responding to patterns the subconscious learned long ago. Psychologists often describe these as emotional templates. They are not conscious beliefs that can be argued away with logic. They are deep structures, woven into the fabric of how the brain organizes experience. Changing them requires more than insight. It requires new experiences that gently contradict the old patterns, teaching the subconscious that earlier expectations no longer apply. Therapy that addresses early experiences often works by providing this kind of corrective learning. Through consistent, safe relationships and gradual exposure to stability, the subconscious begins to update its assumptions. The process is slow because the patterns are old and deeply embedded, but it is possible. The brain remains plastic throughout life, capable of forming new connections and weakening old ones. This perspective shifts how early experiences are understood. They are not destiny, they are starting conditions. The subconscious learns from them, but it can also learn from what comes after. What was written early can be revised. Though revision requires patience and repetition, the same forces that created the original patterns. There is both weight and hope in this realization. Early life matters profoundly. It sets trajectories that influence decades, but those trajectories are not fixed. With time, effort, and the right conditions, the subconscious can be taught new stories, ones that align more closely with the safety and possibility of the present. The imprints remain, but their intensity can fade. The subconscious can hold both the old patterns and the new ones, gradually shifting which set guides behavior. Understanding this makes compassion easier, both for oneself and others. Much of what shapes a person was learned before conscious control was even possible, and much of what was learned can, with care, be gently reshaped. The subconscious detects threats faster than conscious thought. Survival has always depended on speed. When danger appears, there is no time for careful analysis. The body must react instantly before awareness can evaluate the situation. This is the role of the subconscious, acting as an ancient guardian tuned to threat detection. Specialized circuits in the brain monitor the environment continuously, scanning for patterns associated with danger. A sudden movement, a shift in shadow, a shape that resembles something predatory. These trigger immediate responses. Muscles tense, the heart accelerates, adrenaline surges. All of this happens before the conscious mind can identify the source. This speed comes from bypassing conscious processing. Sensory information travels through pathways that connect directly to the amygdala, a region involved in emotional responses, particularly fear. The signal reaches this area in milliseconds, initiating defensive reactions without waiting for conscious interpretation. Only after the body has already responded does awareness catch up. The conscious mind then evaluates the situation, determining whether the threat is real or false. Sometimes, the assessment confirms the alarm. Other times, it reveals a harmless misidentification, a shadow mistaken for an intruder, a branch mistaken for a snake. The subconscious errs on the side of caution. It is better to react unnecessarily than to miss a genuine threat. This bias has been honed by evolution, where the cost of overreaction was minor compared to the cost of inaction. Those who jumped at shadows survived. Those who paused to analyze did not always get a second chance. In modern environments, this hair-trigger sensitivity can feel excessive. Most daily life does not involve predators or immediate danger. Yet the subconscious continues operating according to ancient rules, responding to ambiguous cues as if survival were at stake. This is why anxiety can feel so visceral, and why reassurance often does little to calm it. The subconscious is not listening to logic. It is following protocols established long before language existed. Understanding this does not eliminate the response, but it provides context. The body is not malfunctioning when it reacts to perceived threats. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do, prioritizing safety over accuracy. The conscious mind can learn to recognize these false alarms, acknowledging the reaction without amplifying it. Over time, with repeated exposure to situations that prove safe, the subconscious can be gradually retrained. It learns that certain triggers do not predict danger, and its threshold for alarm shifts. This process is slow and requires consistency, but it is possible. The ancient guardian can be taught to relax, just not quickly, and not through reasoning alone. There is a certain kindness in recognizing the subconscious for what it is. Not an enemy creating irrational fear, but a protector operating with outdated information. It has kept the species alive for millions of years. In the safety of the present, it simply needs new data, new patterns, and patient repetition to update its threat assessments. Creative insights often surface from subconscious connections. Some of the most profound ideas arrive unexpectedly. A solution appears in the shower. A melody emerges in a dream. A scientific breakthrough occurs during a walk far from the laboratory. These moments are not random. They are the products of subconscious processing. While the conscious mind struggles with a problem, fixated on familiar approaches, the subconscious continues working in the background. It sifts through memory, draws connections between seemingly unrelated concepts, and assembles patterns that conscious thought would dismiss as irrelevant. When the hidden work is complete, the result bursts into awareness as inspiration. Psychologists call this incubation, the period when stepping away from a problem allows deeper processing to occur. The conscious mind, with its narrow focus and limited capacity, often becomes stuck in repetitive loops. The subconscious, operating in parallel across vast networks, can explore more freely. It tests combinations, follows tangents, and pursues associations without the constraints of logic or expectation. Artists, writers, inventors, and scientists frequently rely on this process. They describe working intensely on a problem until they reach exhaustion, then setting it aside. Later, often when their attention is elsewhere, the answer appears fully formed. The conscious mind receives credit for the insight, but the subconscious did the labor. This is why rest matters for creativity. It is not laziness or procrastination to pause. It is strategy. The subconscious needs time and space to operate. Constant conscious effort can actually block progress by keeping attention locked in narrow channels. Stepping back allows the hidden mind to wander, to play, to synthesize. There is gentle wisdom in this. Creativity is not forced. It is cultivated. By feeding the subconscious with rich material, diverse experiences, and genuine curiosity, then allowing it time to work, insights become more frequent. The process cannot be rushed, but it can be supported. This also reframes the nature of ideas. They do not arrive from outside, they emerge from within. From the vast processing happening beneath awareness, the feeling that an insight came from nowhere is simply the gap between subconscious completion and conscious recognition. The work was always internal, just hidden until ready. Trusting this process requires patience. Not every pause will yield breakthrough, but over time, the pattern holds. The subconscious, when given material, time, and freedom, will make connections that consciousness cannot. Creativity becomes less about effort and more about partnership, allowing both layers of the mind to contribute what they do best. Subliminal signals can reach the subconscious without entering awareness. Not all perception crosses the threshold into consciousness. Stimuli presented too briefly or too faintly to be noticed can still influence behavior. An image flashed for milliseconds, a word spoken just below audible volume, a scent drifting past undetected. All of these can shape mood, preference, or reaction. The subconscious monitors continuously, registering inputs that never reach conscious attention. These subliminal cues bypass deliberate thought, but still leave traces. Experiments have shown that exposure to certain words can prime related concepts, making them easier to access later. Subtle scents can trigger cravings without any awareness of smelling them. Brief images can shift preferences in ways people cannot explain. The influence is real but limited. Subliminal messages are not mind control. They are nudges, not commands. They can tip the balance when choices are already ambiguous, but they cannot override strong existing preferences or force actions against will. The effect is subtle, operating at the margins of decision-making. What this reveals is how much the subconscious absorbs outside awareness. Life is constantly filled with weak signals that the conscious mind ignores, but the hidden systems register and store. These accumulate over time, forming associations and biases that shape perception without ever becoming explicit. This also explains why environments matter. The colors, sounds, scents, and visual details of a space influence mood and behavior, even when they go unnoticed. A room painted in warm tones may feel more inviting, not because the color is consciously appreciated, but because the subconscious registers it as associated with comfort. Background music at a particular tempo can alter the pace of movement through a store, guiding behavior without awareness. Recognizing subliminal influence does not mean becoming paranoid about hidden manipulation. It means acknowledging that the subconscious is always listening, always absorbing, always integrating. The conscious mind cannot monitor everything, so it delegates. What passes beneath notice still matters. This is why deliberate choices about environment can be valuable. Surrounding oneself with cues that support well-being, calming colors, familiar scents, gentle sounds, feeds the subconscious with signals that promote ease. The conscious mind may not register the details, but the hidden systems do, and they respond accordingly. Subliminal processing is not a flaw, it is efficiency. The subconscious handles the flood of weak signals, so consciousness can focus on what stands out. But the flood is still processed, sorted, and stored, quietly shaping experience in ways that rarely reach awareness, but always influence the whole. Facial expressions flash too quickly for conscious control. Micro-expressions are brief flashes of emotion that cross the face in fractions of a second. They are too fast for deliberate regulation, emerging directly from subconscious circuits before awareness can intervene. A flicker of anger, a spark of fear, a hint of joy. These appear and vanish almost instantly, often unnoticed by both the person experiencing them and those observing. Because they bypass conscious control, micro-expressions often reveal feelings people would prefer to hide. A forced smile may cover irritation, but a split-second tightening around the eyes tells the truth. A calm demeanor may mask anxiety, but a brief flash of tension in the jaw gives it away. These signals are part of an ancient communication system, evolved to ensure honesty in social interactions. Emotions needed to be readable for groups to function effectively. Trust, cooperation, and coordination all depend on understanding what others are feeling. Micro-expressions provided a channel that could not easily be faked. Trained observers, particularly in fields like psychology, law enforcement, and negotiation, learn to detect these fleeting signals. Most of the time, however, they pass unnoticed consciously, yet the subconscious registers them, using the information to guide intuitive judgments about trustworthiness, sincerity, and emotional state. This means every conversation carries two streams of communication. One is spoken, deliberate, and controlled. The other is expressed through the face, rapid, involuntary, and honest. The conscious mind focuses on words. The subconscious tracks expressions. Together they form a more complete picture than either could alone. Understanding micro-expressions also reveals the limits of conscious self-presentation. People cannot fully control how they appear to others. The subconscious will leak truth through the face, through posture, through tone. Authenticity is not just a choice. It is also a biological inevitability, enforced by systems operating faster than intention. There is subtle comfort in this. It means that genuine connection is possible even when words are carefully chosen. The subconscious speaks a universal language that transcends deliberate messaging. It reveals what is real beneath what is performed, creating pathways for empathy and understanding that do not depend on articulation. Posture shifts before emotions reach conscious awareness. The body reacts to internal states before the mind can name them. When anxiety rises, shoulders tense and curve inward, even before the feeling is identified. When confidence builds, the chest opens and the head lifts, often without deliberate thought. These changes are orchestrated by the subconscious, translating emotions into physical signals that others can read. The sequence is reversed from what intuition suggests. It is not that a person feels anxious and then slumps. The slumping begins as part of the anxiety response, emerging from the same subconscious processes that produce the emotion itself. Posture and feeling are intertwined. Two expressions of the same underlying state. This works in both directions. The subconscious monitors the body's position and uses it as evidence about emotional state. Standing tall can produce feelings of confidence because the subconscious interprets the posture as a signal that confidence is warranted. Relaxing the shoulders can reduce tension because the body's position suggests that threat has passed. This bidirectional relationship is why body language matters so deeply in social interaction. Posture communicates emotional state more reliably than words. It is harder to fake and harder to suppress because it emerges from subconscious circuits that respond automatically to internal conditions. Actors and public speakers learn to manipulate this relationship, adopting postures that signal emotions they want to convey. Over time, the body begins to believe its own signals, and the performed emotion becomes partially genuine. The subconscious cannot easily distinguish between adopted and spontaneous posture. It simply responds to the position it finds. There is practical wisdom here. Adjusting posture is one of the few ways to influence the subconscious directly. By deliberately standing taller, opening the chest, or softening the face, conscious intention can send feedback into hidden systems that then adjust emotional state. The change is subtle but real, a quiet dialogue between awareness and the deeper mind. This also explains why physical tension accumulates during stress. The subconscious holds the body in defensive postures, preparing for threats that may never materialize. Over time, these positions become habitual, reinforcing the very states they were meant to address. Breaking the cycle requires conscious intervention, repeatedly redirecting the body into more open, relaxed positions until the subconscious accepts the new pattern. Posture is not superficial. It is one of the clearest channels through which the subconscious expresses and regulates emotion. By attending to it, by noticing how the body holds itself and gently adjusting when needed, a person gains indirect access to systems that usually operate beyond reach. The subconscious scans surroundings for danger continuously. Even in moments of apparent relaxation, sipping a drink, reading a book, gazing at a sunset, part of the brain remains on alert. The subconscious monitors the environment without pause, tracking movement, sound, and change for anything that might signal threat. This vigilance is deeply rooted in evolution. Long before civilization provided safety, survival depended on constant awareness of surroundings, predators, hostile groups, environmental hazards. All required attention. Those who maintained vigilance lived longer. Those who relaxed completely did not. Modern life is far safer, yet the subconscious continues its watch. It scans peripheral vision for sudden motion. It listens for sounds that break expected patterns. It registers shifts in temperature, light, and atmosphere. Most of this monitoring never reaches awareness. Only when something unusual appears does the subconscious escalate the signal, pulling attention toward the change. This is why a person can feel suddenly uneasy without knowing why. The subconscious has detected something, a sound slightly out of place, a movement at the edge of vision, a shift in ambient noise, but has not yet delivered enough information for conscious identification. The feeling arrives first, a vague sense of alertness or discomfort, and only later, if at all, does the reason become clear. This constant scanning is exhausting when environments feel genuinely unsafe. In situations of ongoing threat, the subconscious never rests, keeping the body in a state of heightened alert that depletes energy and disrupts sleep. This is one reason why chronic stress is so harmful. The vigilance system, designed for brief bursts of heightened awareness, remains activated indefinitely. In safe environments, the subconscious can relax its watch slightly, though it never fully disengages. Even during deep sleep, it continues monitoring, ready to wake the sleeper if something significant occurs. A loud crash, a smoke alarm, a child's cry, all break through immediately because the subconscious has been listening all along. There is both burden and protection in this. The constant vigilance can feel oppressive when sensitivity is high. It can make rest difficult and relaxation incomplete. Yet it also ensures that danger is rarely missed. The subconscious acts as a guardian that never sleeps, never looks away, and never forgets its purpose. Recognizing this helps explain why certain environments feel more restful than others. Familiar spaces, consistent sounds, and predictable patterns allow the subconscious to lower its alert level. Novelty, unpredictability, and ambiguity keep it vigilant. Rest is not only about lying down, it is also about giving the hidden guardian permission to ease its watch. Creating conditions that support this, routines, familiarity, gentle transitions, tells the subconscious that safety is present. Over time, it learns to trust these signals, reducing baseline vigilance and allowing deeper restoration. The guardian remains, always ready, but no longer always active. Gut feelings are shaped by subconscious pattern recognition. Intuition often feels mysterious, as if guided by something outside logic. A sudden sense that a decision is right or wrong, that a person can be trusted or should be avoided, that an opportunity should be pursued or declined. These impressions arrive fully formed, without clear reasoning. In most cases, gut feelings are not mystical. They are the outputs of subconscious pattern recognition. The brain has absorbed enormous amounts of experience, far more than the conscious mind can recall. Details that were never explicitly noticed have still been registered, sorted, and stored. When a new situation appears, the subconscious compares it against this vast archive, identifying similarities and issuing a signal. The signal arrives as a feeling, not an explanation. The conscious mind receives a hunch, an instinct, a vague sense of certainty or unease, without access to the underlying reasoning. This is because the subconscious process is faster and deeper than deliberate thought, synthesizing information across countless variables before awareness can even begin analysis. A doctor may sense a diagnosis before tests confirm it, drawing on years of patient encounters that have taught the subconscious to recognize subtle patterns. A chess master may know the best move instantly, guided by thousands of games stored in memory. A person meeting a stranger may feel distrust without being able to say why. Responding to micro-cues, the subconscious has flagged as inconsistent or threatening. Intuition is not infallible. It can be shaped by biases, limited experience, or patterns that no longer apply. But it is also not random. It reflects genuine learning, accumulated across time and stored in systems that work faster than consciousness can follow. Trusting it means trusting that the subconscious has been paying attention all along, There is wisdom in balancing intuition with deliberate thought. Neither should dominate absolutely. Gut feelings provide rapid assessments that can guide attention and shape initial responses. Conscious reasoning provides evaluation, correction, and refinement. Together, they form a more complete decision-making process than either could alone. This also explains why intuition improves with experience. The more situations a person encounters, the more data the subconscious has to work with. Patterns become clearer. Predictions become more accurate. What once felt like guesswork becomes reliable guidance. Honoring gut feelings does not mean abandoning logic. It means recognizing that much of what shapes perception happens beneath awareness. The subconscious is not an inferior partner to be overridden. It is a highly sophisticated system, offering insights drawn from depths the conscious mind cannot access. Listening to it, while remaining open to revision, allows both layers of intelligence to contribute. Smells can trigger subconscious memories instantly. A single scent can unlock the past with startling force. The smell of rain on pavement, the faint aroma of a childhood meal, a whiff of perfume once worn by someone significant. These can transport a person instantly back in time, flooding awareness with emotion and detail. This happens because the olfactory system is wired differently than other senses. Smell bypasses many of the filters that other sensory information passes through before reaching memory and emotion centers. Signals travel directly to regions of the brain involved in subconscious processing, particularly the amygdala and hippocampus, which handle emotion and memory formation. As a result, smells often stir feelings before conscious identification occurs. A person may suddenly feel comforted, uneasy, or nostalgic without initially knowing why. The scent has triggered subconscious associations that emerge as emotion first and recognition second. This phenomenon is sometimes called the Proust effect, named after the writer Marcel Proust, who described memories flooding back through the taste and smell of a Madeleine pastry. The experience he articulated is universal. Smells reach into the subconscious more directly than almost any other input, pulling forward memories that might otherwise remain inaccessible. The memories retrieved this way are often vivid and emotional rather than factual. They carry the feeling of the original moment more than its details. A scent might evoke the safety of a grandmother's kitchen without recalling what was said or done there. It brings back atmosphere, mood, and presence, the subconscious archive of sensory experience. This tight connection between smell and memory has practical implications. Familiar scents can provide comfort during stress, signaling safety to the subconscious. Certain aromas can aid relaxation or focus because they have been paired with those states repeatedly. The subconscious learns these associations and responds automatically when the smell appears again. There is also vulnerability here. Unpleasant memories can be triggered just as powerfully, bringing forward emotions tied to trauma or loss. A smell associated with a frightening experience can produce anxiety instantly, before conscious thought has time to contextualize or contain it. Understanding this connection helps explain why environments rich in familiar scents feel more restful. The subconscious recognizes them as safe, as known, as part of a stable world. Novelty in smell can create subtle unease, not because the scent itself is threatening, but because the subconscious has no stored associations to guide its response. Smell is a quiet but profound channel into the hidden mind. It speaks a language older than words, one that the subconscious understands immediately and completely. By attending to the scents present in daily life, a person can influence subconscious states in ways that logic and intention cannot reach. Muscle memory lives in the subconscious. Complex skills that once required intense concentration eventually become effortless. Riding a bicycle, typing on a keyboard, playing a musical instrument, all follow this pattern. Through repetition, the instructions are transferred from conscious oversight to subconscious control. This is often called muscle memory. Though the memory is not actually in the muscles, it resides in brain circuits that coordinate movement. Once a skill is well learned, the subconscious takes over, executing sequences with precision and speed that conscious thought cannot match. Athletes and musicians describe this as being in the zone. a state where performance flows without deliberate effort. The conscious mind recedes, allowing the subconscious to guide action. The body knows what to do because the pattern has been practiced so many times that it no longer requires attention. This automation is what makes expertise possible. Conscious processing is slow. It can handle only a few steps at a time. For complex skills that involve rapid sequences, conscious control would be too cumbersome. The subconscious, operating in parallel and at high speed, can manage the entire routine seamlessly. Muscle memory is also remarkably durable. Skills learned years ago often return quickly, even after long periods of disuse. Picking up a bicycle after decades feels natural because the subconscious has preserved the program. The patterns may need brief refreshing, but the core remains intact. This durability reveals something important about learning. True mastery is not about memorizing facts. It is about embedding actions in the subconscious, where they become automatic. This requires repetition, patience, and time. It cannot be rushed, but once achieved, it transforms capability. There is quiet satisfaction in recognizing this. Effort invested in practice is not wasted when the skill goes unused for a while. It is stored safely in the subconscious, ready to be accessed when needed. Learning, at its deepest level, is the process of teaching the hidden mind, and what it learns, it remembers. Dreams are the subconscious experimenting with unresolved ideas. During sleep, while the conscious mind rests, the subconscious continues processing the day's experiences. Dreams emerge from this activity, weaving fragments of memory, emotion, and sensation into narratives that often feel surreal. The content of dreams is not random. Many theories suggest that dreams reflect the subconscious exploring unfinished business. Stressful events may replay symbolically. Unsolved problems may be rehearsed in metaphorical form. Hidden desires and unspoken fears may surface in imagery that bypasses logical constraint. During dreaming, the subconscious is freer. It is not bound by the rules of waking logic or the demands of external reality. This allows it to test scenarios, combine ideas, and experiment with possibilities that the conscious mind would dismiss as irrelevant or impossible. Some researchers believe this experimentation serves important functions. It may help with emotional regulation, allowing the subconscious to process feelings in a safe, symbolic space. It may aid memory consolidation, strengthening connections between new experiences and existing knowledge. It may support creative problem-solving, letting the hidden mind explore solutions without conscious interference. The bizarre imagery of dreams is the subconscious speaking in symbols. It uses metaphor and association rather than literal representation. A dream about being chased may not be about actual pursuit, but about feelings of pressure or avoidance. A dream about flying may reflect a sense of freedom or escape rather than a desire for literal flight. Interpreting dreams is difficult because the language of the subconscious is not precise. Symbols carry personal meaning shaped by individual experience. What represents safety to one person may signal threat to another. The subconscious uses the materials it has, drawing on memory, culture, and emotion to construct its narratives. Not every dream carries profound meaning. Some are simply the noise of neural activity, fragments stitched together without purpose. But many do reflect deeper processing, offering glimpses into what the subconscious is working through while awareness is absent. Paying attention to dreams can provide insight into subconscious concerns. Recurring themes often point to unresolved issues. Emotional intensity in dreams may signal that something needs conscious attention. The subconscious is not trying to hide information. It is trying to communicate, using the only language available to it. There is gentle value in honoring this communication. Dreams are not instructions to be followed literally. They are signals to be noticed, invitations to consider what the hidden mind is processing. By reflecting on them without forcing interpretation, a person can maintain dialogue with the subconscious, learning what it is concerned with and what it is trying to resolve. Hypnosis communicates directly with the subconscious. Under hypnosis, the conscious mind is quieted and the subconscious becomes more accessible. In this state, suggestions bypass normal resistance and can influence perception, sensation, or behavior. The The person remains aware, but attention is narrowed, allowing deeper layers of the mind to be reached more easily. Hypnosis has been used to reduce pain, overcome phobias, and break habits by speaking directly to subconscious patterns. It does not work by force or control. The person under hypnosis retains agency and cannot be made to act against core values. What changes is receptivity. The subconscious becomes more open to alternative pathways and new associations. Popular culture often dramatizes hypnosis as mind control, but in practice, it is a focused state where the subconscious is more responsive to suggestion. It is similar to the absorption experience during deep concentration, meditation, or engaging storytelling, states where the boundary between conscious oversight and subconscious processing becomes more permeable. This reveals how much of behavior is guided by hidden processes and how, with the right approach, those processes can be gently adjusted. The subconscious is not locked away behind impenetrable barriers. It can be reached, communicated with, and influenced through methods that respect its language and rhythms. Hypnosis is one such method. Meditation, guided imagery, and certain therapeutic techniques are others. What they share is the ability to quiet conscious interference long enough for new patterns to be introduced at a deeper level. The subconscious listens when the conscious mind steps aside. There is subtlety required here. The subconscious cannot be forced. It responds to repetition, consistency, and context. A single hypnotic suggestion may fade quickly unless reinforced. Lasting change requires sustained engagement, teaching the hidden mind that new patterns are reliable and beneficial. Understanding hypnosis also clarifies what it is not. It is not sleep, though the word derives from terms related to sleep. It is not unconsciousness. It is focused attention combined with heightened suggestibility, a state where the subconscious is invited to participate more directly in shaping perception and behavior. This capacity shows that the division between conscious and subconscious is not absolute. The two can work together more closely than usual when conditions allow. Hypnosis is simply one way of facilitating that collaboration, opening channels that are usually narrower and allowing intentional influence over systems that typically operate automatically. The subconscious edits speech before it is spoken. Words feel as though they emerge fully formed from thought, spontaneous and immediate. Yet in reality, the subconscious has already shaped them before they reach the lips. Milliseconds before a sentence is spoken, the brain prepares the grammar, selects the vocabulary, adjusts the tone, and checks for appropriateness. This hidden editing happens so quickly that it feels seamless. The conscious mind experiences itself as speaking directly, but the subconscious has been drafting in the background. It filters out errors, smooths awkward phrasing, and ensures that words align with intention, all before sound is produced. Occasionally, the system slips. A word is chosen too quickly. A thought is spoken aloud unintentionally. These slips of the tongue reveal the hidden machinery that usually operates invisibly. They show that speech is not a direct translation of thought, but a collaborative process involving multiple layers of the mind. The subconscious also monitors social context, adjusting language to suit the audience. Formality increases in professional settings. Slang appears with friends. Tone softens with children. These shifts happen automatically, without deliberate planning, because the subconscious tracks who is present and what register is appropriate. This is why fluency is possible. Conscious thought cannot manage all the details of language construction in real time. Sentences would stall. Conversations would grind to a halt. By delegating most of the work to the subconscious, speech flows naturally and rapidly, allowing communication to keep pace with thought. Understanding this also explains why certain words sometimes feel just out of reach. The subconscious is searching its lexicon, comparing options, trying to find the right fit. The conscious mind waits, aware that the word exists, but unable to access it directly. Eventually, the subconscious delivers it, often when conscious attention has moved elsewhere. There is quiet elegance in this partnership. The conscious mind provides direction, intention, and meaning. The subconscious provides structure, execution, and refinement. Together they produce language that is both coherent and spontaneous. A stream of words that feels effortless, precisely because so much work is happening beneath awareness. This collaboration extends beyond speech to all forms of expression. Writing, signing, even body language, all involve subconscious systems shaping output before it becomes public. What reaches the world has been edited, refined, and prepared by hidden processes working faster than thought can follow. The placebo effect is driven largely by subconscious belief. When a person takes a sugar pill believing it is medicine, real physical changes can occur. Pain relief, reduced anxiety, even measurable shifts in brain chemistry, all without any active pharmaceutical ingredient. This is the placebo effect, and it depends heavily on subconscious expectation. The subconscious monitors treatment contexts, interpreting cues about what should happen, the presence of a trusted doctor, the ritual of receiving medication, the assurance that relief is coming. All of these signal to the hidden mind that healing is underway. In response, the subconscious activates natural systems of relief, releasing endorphins, reducing stress hormones, and adjusting inflammatory responses. The effect is not imaginary. Brain imaging shows real changes in activity when placebos produce pain relief. Immune function can be measurably altered by expectation. The subconscious has genuine influence over physiology, bridging thought and biology in ways that science is still working to fully understand. What makes the placebo effect so striking is that it persists even when people consciously know the pill is inert. If ritual and trust are strong enough, the subconscious may still respond. This suggests that belief at the subconscious level operates differently than conscious knowledge. The hidden mind weighs context and expectation more heavily than explicit information. This does not mean that all healing is psychological. Real medicine works through mechanisms that do not depend on belief, but it does reveal that psychological factors matter profoundly. The body's response to treatment is shaped not only by the treatment itself, but also by the subconscious interpretation of the context in which it is received. Understanding this can enhance care. When clinicians provide reassurance, when environments feel safe and supportive, when rituals convey competence and concern, the subconscious receives signals that healing is possible. These signals activate internal resources that complement medical intervention. The placebo effect also carries a warning. If the subconscious interprets a situation as hopeless, if trust is absent, or communication is cold, the body may not mobilize its own healing systems as effectively. Nocebo effects, where negative expectations produce harm, demonstrate the same principle in reverse. The lesson is not that belief cures disease, but that the subconscious is a participant in health. It listens to the story being told through words, actions, and context, and it responds accordingly. By shaping that story carefully, by fostering trust and realistic hope, treatment outcomes can be gently improved. This is one of the clearest demonstrations of subconscious power. Thought, channeled through belief and expectation, reaches into physiology and alters it. The boundary between mind and body is not as firm as it appears. The subconscious stands at the intersection, translating signals in both directions and shaping experience in ways that are subtle, profound, and deeply real. The subconscious regulates heartbeat and breathing without pause. Every moment of life, from birth to final breath, the subconscious keeps the body functioning. Heartbeat continues steadily. Breathing adjusts automatically. Blood pressure responds to activity. Temperature stays balanced. All of this happens without conscious involvement. These vital functions are managed by the autonomic nervous system, governed largely by subconscious processes. If conscious attention were required for each heartbeat, for each breath, life would be impossible. The mind would have no capacity for anything else. By automating these essentials, the subconscious frees consciousness to focus on the world. Yet the division is not absolute. Conscious influence is possible, though indirect. Slowing breathing deliberately can calm the heart. Visualization can lower blood pressure. Meditation can shift autonomic balance. The conscious mind cannot command the subconscious directly, but it can create conditions that guide subconscious responses. This bidirectional relationship shows that the systems are in dialogue. The subconscious manages the defaults, keeping everything running smoothly. Consciousness can intervene when needed, providing input that the subconscious incorporates into its ongoing regulation. There is profound reliability in this arrangement. The subconscious never forgets to breathe. It never misses a heartbeat. It operates tirelessly, without complaint, without need for rest or reward. It is the silent foundation upon which all conscious activity rests. Recognizing this invites a certain gratitude. The body continues functioning not because of deliberate effort, but because hidden systems work flawlessly in the background. Every breath is a gift from the subconscious. Every heartbeat is evidence of its ceaseless labor. This also explains why disruptions to these systems feel so alarming. When breathing becomes difficult or the heart races without cause, the conscious mind suddenly notices functions that usually proceed invisibly. The awareness is uncomfortable because it highlights how much is normally taken for granted. Restoring balance often requires reassuring the subconscious. Calm environments, slow movements, and steady rhythms signal that safety is present. The hidden systems respond, gradually returning to their default patterns. The conscious mind cannot fix the problem directly, but it can create conditions that allow the subconscious to settle. There is quiet wisdom in this. The best way to support vital functions is not to control them, but to trust them, providing the conditions they need to operate smoothly. The subconscious has been managing life for millions of years. It knows what to do. It simply needs the space and safety to do it without interference. By honoring this autonomy, by recognizing the subconscious as the tireless caretaker of life itself, a person can relax more fully. The conscious mind need not bear the burden of keeping the body alive. That work is already being done, quietly and flawlessly, beneath the surface of awareness. Phobias are stored as subconscious fear responses. A person with a fear of spiders may panic at the sight of even a harmless one. Someone afraid of flying may feel terror before boarding a plane. These reactions are not deliberate. They emerge from subconscious circuits that treat the feared object as a genuine threat. Phobias often begin with a single intense experience or develop from inherited warning systems, patterns that evolution embedded in the brain to favor caution. Once established, they are etched deeply into subconscious memory. Logic cannot dissolve them. Conscious reasoning that the spider is harmless or the flight is safe does not reach the systems producing the fear. The subconscious responds as if danger is present, flooding the body with adrenaline, accelerating the heart, and preparing for escape. The reaction is visceral, immediate, and overwhelming. It bypasses conscious control entirely, leaving the person feeling helpless against their own response. Therapy for phobias works by gradually retraining the subconscious. Exposure therapy introduces the feared object in controlled, safe contexts, teaching the hidden mind that the association between the trigger and danger is false. The process is slow because the subconscious learns through repetition, not reasoning. Each safe encounter weakens the fear response slightly. Over time, with enough repetition, the subconscious begins to update its assessment. The object remains associated with discomfort, but the intensity fades. The alarm grows quieter. Eventually, the trigger may lose its power entirely. Until that retraining is complete, the subconscious continues, reacting automatically. It is not being irrational. It is following patterns established earlier, patterns that once made sense even if they no longer serve. The protection it offers is unnecessary, but it is sincere. Understanding this brings compassion. Phobias are not weakness or character flaw. They are subconscious memory, doing exactly what it was designed to do, keeping the person safe from perceived danger. The memory is simply outdated, still operating on information that no longer applies. This perspective also clarifies why reassurance alone rarely helps. Telling someone their fear is irrational adds shame without addressing the source. The subconscious does not listen to words. It listens to experience. Only repeated, safe encounters can teach it that the world has changed. Phobias reveal the stubborn strength of subconscious learning. Once something is deeply embedded, dislodging it requires patience, consistency, and gentle persistence. But it is possible. The subconscious can be retaught. It simply needs time and the right evidence to revise its conclusions. The subconscious can misinterpret harmless cues as threats. Not every alarm raised by the subconscious is accurate. Sometimes it interprets neutral signals as dangerous, activating fear when none is needed. A creak in the house at night may spark unease. A stranger's glance may feel threatening. An unexpected sound may trigger panic. These reactions arise from ancient systems designed to favor caution. In uncertain environments, it was better to overreact than to miss real danger. A shadow mistaken for a predator was inconvenient. A predator mistaken for a shadow could be fatal. Evolution shaped the subconscious to err on the side of vigilance. This bias means the hidden mind sometimes raises false alarms. It detects ambiguity and defaults to threat. The cost of unnecessary fear is small compared to the cost of missed danger, so the system leans toward protection. Over time, repeated false alarms can feed into anxiety. The subconscious begins treating harmless cues as constant sources of threat, keeping the body in a state of heightened alertness. The person feels anxious without clear reason because the subconscious is responding to patterns that do not actually predict danger. Retraining requires gradual exposure to the feared cues in contexts that prove safe. The subconscious learns slowly, through experience rather than argument. Each safe encounter provides evidence that the alarm was unnecessary. Over time, the threshold for activation rises. The system becomes less reactive. This does not mean the subconscious becomes careless. It simply becomes more accurate, distinguishing real threats from harmless ambiguity. The goal is not to eliminate vigilance but to calibrate it, allowing the hidden mind to relax when conditions are genuinely safe. There is patience required. The subconscious evolved for survival, not comfort. Its caution has kept the species alive for millions of years. In modern, safer environments, that caution can feel excessive, but it reflects deep wiring that cannot be overridden quickly. Understanding this prevents self-blame. Anxiety is not personal failure, it is the subconscious doing its job, sometimes too enthusiastically. The response is sincere, even when it is misplaced. By recognizing the source, a person can work with the system rather than against it, teaching it through gentle, repeated experience that the world is safer than it believes. Facial recognition is handled mostly by the subconscious. When a familiar face appears in a crowd, recognition is nearly instantaneous. There is no deliberate analysis of features. The subconscious processes the image in specialized brain regions designed specifically for faces, delivering identification faster than conscious thought can follow. This system is so efficient that recognition often arrives before conscious awareness of who the person is. The feeling of familiarity comes first. The name and context follow afterward. The subconscious has already completed the match, but it takes a moment for the details to surface into awareness. Damage to these subconscious pathways can result in prosopagnosia or face blindness, a condition where people can no longer identify even loved ones by sight. Other visual abilities remain intact, but the specialized circuits for facial processing no longer function. This reveals how deeply the brain is tuned for social recognition, dedicating entire regions to the task. The speed of subconscious facial recognition highlights how much social interaction depends on unseen processing. Every conversation, every glance, every smile exchanged relies on rapid identification happening beneath awareness. The conscious mind simply receives the output, a sense of who is present, without needing to work through the details. This system also guides judgments about emotion and intention. The subconscious reads facial expressions continuously, interpreting micro-movements and assembling them into impressions of mood, sincerity, and trustworthiness. These assessments happen automatically, shaping interactions before conscious thought can evaluate them. Understanding this reveals why faces matter so profoundly in human connection. They are not just visual patterns, they are rich sources of information that the subconscious decodes effortlessly. Every interaction is informed by hidden processing that delivers meaning faster than words can be exchanged. Language rhythm is mirrored subconsciously during conversation. When people talk, their rhythms often synchronize without effort. Speech patterns, pauses, and intonations subtly align, guided by subconscious systems that track and match conversational flow. This mirroring happens automatically, without deliberate intention. You may find yourself matching the pace of a friend's speech, slowing when they slow, speeding when they speed. Pauses begin to align. Intonation curves echo. This synchronization is part of what makes conversation feel natural and fluid. Researchers believe this subconscious mimicry builds connection and trust. When rhythms align, interactions feel smoother. When they clash, conversation becomes stilted and uncomfortable. The subconscious uses rhythm as a signal of rapport, adjusting speech patterns to foster harmony. This happens not only in rhythm but also in word choice, gestures, and posture. During conversation, people subtly mirror each other across multiple channels. The subconscious orchestrates these adjustments continuously, creating a subtle dance that reinforces social bonds. The process is so automatic that most people never notice it, yet when the mirroring breaks down, the absence is felt immediately. Something feels off, even if the reason cannot be named. The subconscious has detected a mismatch and signals discomfort. Understanding this makes conversations easier to navigate. When connection feels difficult, adjusting rhythm deliberately can help. Slowing speech, leaving pauses, and matching energy levels provide the subconscious with cues that facilitate synchronization. The conscious mind sets the intention. The hidden systems follow. There is gentle beauty in this. Every conversation is more than an exchange of words. It is a duet conducted partly by the subconscious, weaving voices into harmony beneath awareness. The connection people feel during good conversations is not only about what is said, it is also about the invisible rhythms aligning in the background. Subconscious mimicry helps build social trust. Beyond language, the subconscious also imitates gestures, expressions, and posture during interaction. This mirroring often happens without awareness. Crossing arms when the other person does, leaning forward when they lean, smiling in response to their smile, all occur automatically. Such mimicry is subtle but powerful. It signals empathy and creates rapport, helping people feel understood and connected. Experiments show that individuals are more likely to trust and cooperate with those who mirror them subconsciously, even when the mimicry goes unnoticed. This effect reveals how much social bonding occurs beneath awareness. The subconscious orchestrates micro-adjustments that smooth interaction and build harmony. By the time the conscious mind notices comfort or trust, the subconscious has already laid the groundwork through imitation, too quiet to see, but strong enough to bind. Research into this phenomenon has found that even slight increases in mirroring can improve negotiation outcomes, enhance cooperation, and strengthen relationships. The mirroring does not need to be perfect or constant. Small, natural echoes are sufficient to signal alignment. There is also vulnerability here. Lack of mirroring can signal distance or discomfort. When someone deliberately avoids matching another's posture or rhythm, the subconscious registers the absence and interprets it as rejection or opposition. The feeling of being out of sync is not only metaphorical, it is a real assessment made by hidden systems tracking social cues. Understanding this allows deliberate use of mimicry to build connection. By gently matching another person's energy, posture, and rhythm, the subconscious sends signals of goodwill and empathy. The other person's hidden mind receives those signals and responds in kind, creating a positive feedback loop. This is not manipulation if done with genuine care. It is simply working with the subconscious language already in use. People naturally mirror those they like and trust. Consciously applying the same principle can accelerate rapport when connection is desired. The key is subtlety. Obvious mimicry feels false and produces the opposite effect. The subconscious is sensitive to authenticity. Small, natural adjustments work better than exaggerated copying. The goal is to speak the hidden language fluently, not to perform it theatrically. By recognizing mirroring as a subconscious tool for connection, interactions become easier to navigate. Trust is not only built through words and actions, it is also built through the quiet synchronization of bodies, rhythms, and expressions, all orchestrated by systems working beneath the surface to bind people together. Blushing is triggered by subconscious emotional signals. Few reactions are as uncontrollable as blushing. A sudden rush of blood colors the cheeks, often in response to embarrassment, attention, or attraction. This response is not commanded by the conscious mind but by subconscious emotional circuits operating faster than intention. The body interprets social exposure or heightened emotion as a cue to signal honesty. Flushing the skin as if to confess. Even trying not to blush often makes it worse because attention amplifies the very circuits producing the response. The conscious mind cannot override the subconscious here. It can only observe. Scientists believe blushing may have evolved as a social signal, demonstrating sincerity and vulnerability. It is difficult to fake, which makes it a reliable indicator of genuine emotion. In this sense, blushing serves a function, broadcasting internal states in a way that words cannot easily convey. Whatever its evolutionary origin, blushing remains one of the clearest examples of the subconscious acting independently of will. A person cannot choose to blush or not blush. The decision has already been made by hidden systems responding to emotional context before awareness can intervene. There is subtle acceptance available here. Blushing cannot be controlled, so attempting control only increases discomfort. The subconscious will express what it expresses. Letting the response happen without resistance allows it to pass more quickly. This also highlights the honesty of subconscious communication. The face reveals what words might hide. The body speaks truth through channels that bypass deliberate presentation. Blushing is the subconscious speaking directly, using the body as its voice. And there is no way to silence it except to change the underlying emotional state. The subconscious coordinates balance and walking. Every step taken is far more complex than it feels. Walking requires precise coordination of hundreds of muscles, constant adjustment of posture, and integration of signals from the eyes, inner ear, and body senses. Yet none of this reaches conscious awareness. The subconscious handles balance automatically. It keeps the body upright on uneven ground, adjusts stride when the floor slopes, and catches balance if a stumble begins. Even the rhythm of walking is guided subconsciously, allowing conversation or thought to continue while the body moves without supervision. When balance is disrupted, as on a swaying boat or icy surface, conscious attention suddenly notices what the subconscious has been managing all along. The effort becomes visible, but under normal conditions, walking proceeds effortlessly, testimony to the hidden systems working in perfect coordination beneath awareness. This automation is learned through repetition. Infants spend months practicing before walking becomes automatic. Once learned, the patterns are stored in the subconscious and executed without thought. The conscious mind is freed to attend to the world while the body navigates space fluidly. There is quiet marvel in this. Every moment of upright movement is a triumph of subconscious coordination. The balance system never rests, never falters, and never requires deliberate input. It is one of the most sophisticated control systems in the body, operating invisibly to keep life moving smoothly forward. Yawning contagion comes from subconscious empathy. A yawn is simple, but its contagiousness is extraordinary. Seeing someone yawn, hearing it, or even reading about it can trigger yawning in others. This reflex is linked to subconscious empathy, mediated by mirror neurons that automatically simulate states observed in others. When one person yawns, the subconscious of nearby observers interprets it as a cue to align, producing a yawn in response. Interestingly, the effect is strongest among close friends and family, suggesting deep social bonds enhance the phenomenon. Even animals like chimpanzees and dogs show contagious yawning, reinforcing the idea that it is tied to social connection and empathy. It is not about oxygen intake, as once believed, but about the subconscious synchronizing states across a group. Each shared yawn is an invisible signal, a moment of alignment that binds individuals together. The subconscious forges unity through reflexes that bypass conscious control, creating subtle threads of connection that strengthen social cohesion. There is gentle beauty in this. Yawning is not merely a physical response, it is a form of emotional contagion, evidence that the subconscious is always attuned to others, always ready to synchronize. always working to maintain the bonds that make groups function smoothly. Implicit bias is a subconscious phenomenon. Prejudice often operates not through deliberate malice, but through hidden preferences and associations formed by culture, experience, and repetition. These subconscious biases influence decisions in hiring, education, and daily interactions without awareness. A person may consciously believe in equality while subconsciously associating certain groups with stereotypes. These implicit biases are measured through tests that detect subtle reaction times, revealing subconscious leanings that words cannot capture. While biases may not align with conscious values, they still shape perception and behavior. Recognizing this is the first step toward change. Training and awareness can gradually retrain the subconscious, reducing the automatic associations it has learned through exposure. Implicit bias shows how powerful the subconscious is in shaping social behavior and how important it is to understand the forces guiding judgment beneath the surface. It is a reminder that self-knowledge requires looking not only at what is consciously believed, but also at what is felt without realizing it. This is not an invitation to shame, but to awareness. The subconscious absorbs patterns from the environment. By deliberately exposing it to counter-stereotypical examples and practicing egalitarian responses, the hidden mind can be gently reshaped. Change is possible, but it requires sustained effort, directed at the level where the biases actually operate. Mirror neurons drive subconscious imitation of others. When someone smiles, winces, or grasps an object, the observer's brain activates in ways similar to theirs. This happens because of mirror neurons, cells that fire both when an action is performed and when it is observed. These neurons allow the subconscious to simulate the experiences of others, providing the foundation for empathy, learning, and social connection. When a child imitates an adult or when someone flinches at another's injury, mirror neurons are at work. Much of this happens beneath awareness. The subconscious mirrors behavior automatically, which is why laughter spreads, why accents shift in conversation, and why emotions ripple through groups. Mirror neurons are the hidden translators between self and other, blending personal experience with the perception of those nearby. Through them, the subconscious becomes a bridge, allowing one mind to echo the feelings of another without deliberate effort. This capacity is essential for social life, enabling coordination, empathy, and the shared understanding that binds human groups together. The subconscious tracks time more precisely than expected. Conscious awareness of time is often distorted by attention and emotion. Minutes can feel like hours, or hours like minutes, depending on engagement and mood. Yet beneath this variability, the subconscious often keeps accurate track of time. Many people can wake up without an alarm at the exact moment intended, guided by subconscious monitoring of internal rhythms. Musicians and athletes rely on subconscious timing to perform sequences with perfect rhythm, often faster than conscious counting could manage. Even during dreams, the subconscious preserves a sense of duration, allowing short naps to feel long or long sleep cycles to pass unnoticed. Scientists believe the hidden mind monitors biological clocks, heartbeat patterns, and environmental cues, weaving them into an internal timekeeper. Conscious awareness of time is flexible and impressionistic, but beneath it lies a steadier rhythm maintained invisibly by the subconscious, ensuring that the body and mind stay aligned with the flow of hours, even when awareness drifts elsewhere. The subconscious notices when someone is staring. Many people have experienced the eerie sensation of being watched, turning around to find it true. Research suggests this may come from subconscious sensitivity to subtle cues, particularly peripheral vision and micro-movements. The subconscious processes edges of the visual field, detecting when another person's gaze is directed toward you. The conscious mind may not notice these details, but the subconscious assembles them into a signal of attention. Evolution may have sharpened this awareness, since detecting a predator's stare could mean survival. Even in modern settings, the subconscious continues monitoring the social environment, alerting awareness when eyes linger too long. The phenomenon demonstrates the subconscious as a constant observer, tracking signals that never reach deliberate thought. It is why a glance across a crowded room can be felt even before it is seen. The subconscious has already noticed, whispering to the body that attention has arrived. Peripheral vision is constantly processed subconsciously. While conscious attention focuses at the center of vision, the subconscious handles the rest. Peripheral vision is sensitive to movement, shape, and contrast, and the subconscious constantly scans it for change. This is why something darting at the edge of sight instantly captures attention. The subconscious has flagged it before conscious awareness can identify it. In ancient environments, this allowed early humans to spot predators or rivals approaching from the side. Today, it helps when driving, playing sports, or navigating crowded spaces. Most of what passes through peripheral vision never reaches awareness, but it still informs posture, reaction, and mood. The subconscious is the gatekeeper, deciding which signals are urgent enough to push into focus. Every time a person is startled by something moving out of the corner of the eye, it is proof that the subconscious has been watching all along, maintaining vigilance while consciousness focuses on what seems most important. Subconscious imagery can alter heart rate. The body responds not only to real events, but also to imagined ones. Visualizing danger can raise heart rate. Picturing calm scenes can slow it. This happens because the subconscious treats vivid imagery as if it were reality, activating physiological responses. Athletes use this effect to prepare for competition, rehearsing movements and emotions in the mind until the body responds as if the event were real. Therapists use guided imagery to help patients reduce anxiety or manage pain, leveraging the subconscious to alter physical state. The conscious mind may know the images are imaginary, but the subconscious responds anyway. This shows how tightly thought and body are intertwined and how much power the hidden mind holds over physical experience. To imagine is, in many ways, to practice reality, with the subconscious blurring the line between inner vision and outer world. This capacity can be used deliberately to shape emotional and physical states, teaching the hidden mind through imagery what it might otherwise learn only through direct experience. Trauma can linger in subconscious networks for decades. Events of intense fear or pain may leave traces that persist far beyond conscious memory. Trauma can embed itself in subconscious circuits, triggering reactions years later without clear explanation. A sound, a scent, or a passing phrase may awaken emotions the conscious mind cannot explain. The subconscious remembers even when words are absent. These imprints can shape behavior, relationships, and self-perception in ways that feel confusing or overwhelming. Therapy often aims to bring subconscious memories into conscious awareness where they can be processed and integrated. Until then, the subconscious may continue echoing the past, influencing the present invisibly. Trauma demonstrates both the resilience and vulnerability of the subconscious. It protects by burying unbearable memories, but it also binds the individual to them, replaying responses long after the original threat has passed. Healing often begins by recognizing that the subconscious is not malfunctioning, it is remembering, and it needs help learning that the danger is over. Subconscious stress can slow physical healing. The body's ability to repair itself is shaped not only by biology, but also by the subconscious. Chronic stress activates hidden pathways that release hormones like cortisol, which can suppress the immune system and slow recovery. Even when a person consciously feels fine, the subconscious may be carrying tension that subtly hinders healing. Wounds close more slowly, illness lingers longer, energy remains drained. Studies have shown that patients with lower subconscious stress markers recover faster from surgery and illness. Techniques like meditation, therapy, or even laughter can reduce hidden stress, freeing the body to heal more efficiently. This connection between mind and body illustrates the power of the subconscious in physical health. What lies hidden beneath awareness can either support or sabotage recovery, showing that healing is not only a matter of medicine but also of the quiet mind within. Eye contact sparks subconscious trust signals. Looking into someone's eyes triggers immediate subconscious responses. Prolonged eye contact can create feelings of intimacy and connection, while avoidance may signal dishonesty or discomfort. These reactions happen without deliberate thought as the subconscious interprets eye behavior as a window into intent. Experiments show that people are more likely to believe someone who maintains steady eye contact even if their words are uncertain. This system likely evolved to strengthen social bonds, allowing humans to detect sincerity quickly. The subconscious acts as judge, weighing gaze patterns and producing an emotional reaction of trust or suspicion. Every glance shared is therefore more than a conscious exchange. It is a conversation between subconscious minds, speaking through the silent language of the eyes, assessing and responding faster than words can follow. Music can alter subconscious breathing patterns. When music plays, the body often responds without notice. Breathing synchronizes to rhythm, heart rate shifts with tempo, muscles subtly relax or tense with the melody. These effects are orchestrated by the subconscious, which processes rhythm and emotion faster than conscious thought. Slow, steady music can calm breathing. Fast beats may energize it. Singers and instrumentalists rely on this subconscious connection to maintain timing and expression. Even listeners unaware of the effect are moved by it, finding themselves soothed or stirred by sound. Music bypasses logical thought and speaks directly to the subconscious, shaping the rhythms of the body in harmony with its patterns. It is one reason music is so universal, connecting instantly with the hidden mind and altering states of being without requiring explanation. Smiling can trick the subconscious into feeling happier. The connection between body and subconscious runs both ways. Just as emotions shape expressions, expressions can influence emotions. Smiling, even when forced, can trigger the subconscious to interpret the gesture as genuine happiness. This activates circuits associated with joy, lifting mood slightly. Psychologists call this the facial feedback hypothesis, and it shows how the subconscious reads bodily signals to infer emotional states. People who hold a smile during difficult tasks often report feeling less stressed. Even if the smile was artificial, the subconscious is persuaded by the act itself, responding as if the emotion were real. This feedback loop demonstrates how simple physical actions can influence the hidden mind, which in turn influences mood. A smile is therefore not only an outward expression but also an inward tool, a quiet way of nudging the subconscious toward brighter states. Nightmares are subconscious warnings about stress. When the subconscious is burdened by unresolved stress, it often expresses itself through nightmares. These vivid, unsettling dreams serve as signals that something within needs attention. The subconscious transforms anxiety into symbolic images: being chased, falling, losing control. While frightening, nightmares may help process emotions and rehearse survival strategies. They can also act as warnings, drawing conscious awareness to pressures that have been ignored. In this sense, nightmares are not meaningless disturbances but communications from the hidden mind. They reveal that subconscious systems are working to cope with strain, urging the dreamer to address underlying issues. Nightmares may be unpleasant, but they demonstrate the subconscious at work, translating invisible tension into imagery too urgent to be ignored, ensuring that emotional overload eventually reaches awareness where it can be addressed. Stage fright comes from subconscious fear circuits. Standing before an audience can trigger racing heartbeat, trembling hands, and shallow breath, even when the conscious mind knows there is no real danger. Stage fright arises from subconscious fear circuits mistaking social exposure for threat. The amygdala floods the body with stress hormones as if survival were at stake. This reaction is deeply rooted in evolution, where exclusion from the group could mean peril. The subconscious cannot distinguish between public speaking and life-threatening danger, so it reacts with overwhelming force. With practice, many people learn to manage stage fright by retraining subconscious associations, gradually teaching the brain that visibility does not mean risk. Until then, the subconscious continues, reacting protectively, making stage fright one of the most vivid demonstrations of how ancient circuits still shape modern life. Subconscious guilt can shape daily decisions. Guilt does not always announce itself. Sometimes it lingers quietly in the subconscious, influencing choices without clear awareness. A person may avoid opportunities, sabotage success, or act with unnecessary caution because of unresolved guilt buried below thought. The subconscious carries the weight, interpreting situations through the lens of past mistakes or regrets. This can manifest as hesitation, anxiety, or unexplained resistance. Psychologists often help people uncover hidden guilt by tracing patterns of avoidance back to their origins. Once brought to light, the feelings can be processed consciously, reducing their grip. Until then, subconscious guilt continues shaping behavior in subtle ways, steering decisions like a hidden compass, pointing away from resolution. It is a reminder that the subconscious not only remembers what consciousness wishes to forget, but also acts on those memories, quietly influencing the paths taken. The subconscious regulates hormone release automatically. Hormones govern growth, mood, stress, and countless other functions, and their timing is managed largely by the subconscious. The brain monitors signals from the body and adjusts hormone release accordingly. Cortisol rises in the morning to promote alertness. Melatonin increases at night to encourage sleep. Insulin is released to process food. All of this happens without conscious effort, controlled by subconscious networks in the brain and endocrine system. While the conscious mind may influence hormones indirectly through behavior, managing stress or choosing when to eat, the fine-tuned balance is maintained invisibly. This system highlights how the subconscious is not limited to thought or emotion. It is also the silent conductor of biological rhythms, adjusting chemistry moment by moment to keep the body in harmony with its needs. The subconscious constantly compares present events with past experiences. Every perception is filtered through memory. The subconscious holds templates of voices, faces, spaces, and stories, then matches incoming data against them. A kind glance may echo a beloved teacher. A clipped tone may recall an unkind supervisor. A meadow's scent may summon a childhood summer. When the match is comforting, ease spreads before thought. When it hints at danger, caution rises fast. This process is efficient and mostly accurate, but it can also trap people in old patterns, reacting to today through yesterday's lens. Changing the lens begins with noticing the echo. This feels like that, but it is not that. New experiences that safely contradict the template teach the hidden mind to update. Over time, the comparator grows more precise, and the present is allowed to be itself, freed from the weight of patterns that no longer apply. And so the exploration of the subconscious draws gently toward its close. Throughout this journey, the hidden mind has revealed itself not as a separate entity, but as the vast foundation upon which conscious experience rests. It manages the body, processes the world, stores memory, and guides behavior, all while remaining largely invisible. What becomes clear is that the division between conscious and subconscious is not a boundary, but a collaboration. One system provides awareness, reflection, and deliberate choice. The other provides speed, memory, and automatic coordination. Together, they create the seamless experience of being a person moving through the world. The subconscious does not demand understanding to function. It works tirelessly whether noticed or not, keeping the heart beating, the breath flowing, and the body balanced. It filters sensory overload, detects threats, and recognizes faces. It learns from repetition, responds to imagery, and carries emotional memory across decades. There is quiet reassurance in recognizing this partnership. Much of what shapes life happens beneath awareness, guided by systems that are patient, reliable, and profoundly sophisticated. The conscious mind does not need to control everything. The subconscious is already handling most of the work, and it does so flawlessly. Mystery remains. The exact mechanisms by which subconscious processing gives rise to conscious experience are not fully understood. How the hidden mind decides what to escalate to awareness, how it synthesizes millions of signals into coherent perception, how it bridges thought and physiology. All of these questions remain open. But openness is not absence of knowledge. It is invitation. The subconscious continues revealing itself through research, through careful observation, and through lived experience. Each discovery deepens appreciation without diminishing wonder. Understanding the subconscious does not make it less remarkable. If anything, the more its workings are revealed, the more astonishing the system becomes. It is ancient and adaptive, shaped by evolution, yet responsive to individual experience. It is powerful, yet teachable, automatic, yet capable of change. By honoring the subconscious as a partner rather than viewing it as an obstacle, life becomes easier to navigate. Habits can be reshaped through repetition. Anxiety can be eased by teaching the hidden mind that safety is present. Creativity can be fostered by giving the subconscious space to explore. Trust can be built by recognizing that the hidden mind is always working towards survival and well-being, even when its methods feel uncomfortable. The universe does not require that the subconscious be fully understood to continue functioning. It operates patiently, regardless of comprehension, and so the journey through this hidden territory does not end with answers. It settles instead into appreciation for the tireless systems that keep life running smoothly, appreciation for the ancient circuits that protect, even when protection is no longer needed, appreciation for the capacity to learn, to change, and to integrate new patterns across a lifetime, and appreciation for the mystery that remains, the quiet reminder that there is always more beneath the surface than awareness can hold. The subconscious is not separate from you, it is you. The part that works when attention rests, the part that remembers when consciousness forgets, the part that continues through every moment of life without pause or complaint. And so, as this exploration fades into silence, what remains is not uncertainty but continuity. The hidden mind will continue its work, shaping experience, guiding behavior, and maintaining the delicate balance that allows consciousness to exist at all. Rest comes easier, knowing that the subconscious is always awake, always vigilant, always ensuring that morning will arrive and life will continue. The partnership holds, the systems endure, and beneath the surface of awareness, the vast and patient mind keeps working, quietly, faithfully, and without end. Good night, better sleep, a lighter day,